The only way to get rich and climb the authority ladder is to prove to everyone around you that you are an expert in your industry. And if you mess up your first impression, you could ruin everything. And that's why in this video, we're going to break down the 5 pillars of authority that are going to make people think that you are the smartest person in the room. Starting with pillar number 1, which is seeking to understand before being understood. This is Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it is one of the best books that you should read if you are trying to gain influence and build authority. Habit number 5 out of 7 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Fake authority comes from you believing that you know how to solve someone's problem before you've taken the time to actually understand what that problem is. Seek first to understand takes the opposite approach and encourages great quality question asking to actually determine the full scope of the problem that needs to be solved. Great doctors don't just come straight in and prescribe you whatever medicine they think is going to be best to solve your medical problem. They're going to come in and ask great quality questions so they can distill what actually is the root cause of what's going on with you. They're going to rule out certain outcomes and they're going to rule in other outcomes of what it could be. But that only comes from asking great quality questions. So if someone puts you on the spot about your industry, you need to first determine, do they want insight from you? Do they want advice from you? Or do they simply want to be entertained? Once you've figured out what they want, it's time for pillar number 2, which is to lead with positivity over pessimism. I believe that positive people want to be surrounded by other positive people. And if they're looking for advice or insight from someone, they don't want to hear from negative Nelly. They want to hear from the person who's positive and happy and hopeful about the future. This doesn't mean that you need to lie about what you do or the state of your industry. It just showcases that you're a positive person who's optimistic about the future and you're always looking for new opportunities. You want to leave that conversation with the person that you're speaking to feeling uplifted and positive about the future, not deflated and negative and down in the dumps. If you demonstrate positivity, then people will leave you feeling positively about you. Whereas if you demonstrate pessimism and negativity, people will think negatively about you. This brings us to pillar number 3, which is use 1 or 2 interesting data points. If you are genuinely interested in the industry that you are in, you should always have a couple of key data points up your sleeve that are interesting to talk to other people about. This could be something like a statistic, a recent study, or even a recent report that had been completed in your industry and in your field of knowledge. The beauty about data is that it also removes it from being your opinion and the point that you're trying to make to an external third-party source that validates what you're saying. Experts rely on other experts, and that's what you're showcasing here. But data points can be a bit boring and aren't super interesting by themselves, which brings us to pillar number 4, which is to tell a story. Through effective storytelling, you're not just demonstrating that you are actively working within the industry and really helping people day to day, but you're also helping commit those data points that you spoke about earlier to that person's memory. When you share a recent client case study or a win where you've helped someone achieve a goal, you're actually inviting the person that you're speaking to imagine themselves as that client in that story. This is going to increase the chances of you being able to work with them, which will increase the likelihood of you working with them. This brings us to the final pillar, pillar number 5, which is asking a bridging question to help link it all together. A bridging question is the part of the conversation where you really put it back into their court so that they can confirm or deny whether what you've just spoken about was relevant to them. This shows that you care about them and actually invites them to share more about their circumstances. For me, in the real estate industry, I'm going to be asking bridging questions like, are you interested in the market from a buying or a selling perspective? Or what are your property plans moving forward? For you, it could be as simple as asking them if they're interested in your industry. A bridging question starts this whole process to rinse and repeat again. And the best part about a bridging question is that it opens a loop for you to start building authority all over again.